Are you recording it?
Yes, I am recording.
I don't know why you don't think you look good. I want to make out with you right now. That's how beautiful you are.
I want to watch.
Francis, get out of here, Francis.
Stop.
Oh my God.
Pull our books up.
Yeah.
Shameless promotion.
Whoop, whoop.
I want to, hey, I like meat and potatoes. Oh yeah, just like, hold on. This was me like 10 years ago.
Oh, you don't look much different, honest to God.
I'm going to get this cut and stretched.
Yeah, no.
And then this, and then that.
See that white line from when the neck folds were over yesterday at the beach? I got the white line. That's good. It's beautiful, isn't it?
You look great. I just want everyone to know that watching this, that you and I just worked out and we look like we're spritzing, and I have one boob because it's a sports bra where it's just one.
Yeah, no, the uniboob. That's what they do. Yes. Well, I got this new one though. I don't know, they're pretty high and tight, I'm thinking.
They're high and tight, girl. I like So I want to know everything about meat and potatoes in 1 minute. Just kidding. Okay, so you just worked out this morning. You're feeling fresh.
Well, I worked out because at about 10:30 last night, I put a whole pan of jalapeno poppers in the oven and just ate them. And that was after we walked down to the ice cream store that is in walking distance. So I was like, maybe I should get some steps in today.
Maybe you should.
Yeah. So, yeah, don't be impressed. It's all about guilt.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So when I wrote my book when I was 12 years old, back then, a lot of the books that I went to define resources for, they were great. But there was almost like a very solemn undertone. And at the time that I wrote my book, the war had just broken out. I've never been that person. I've always handled it with humor. If you don't laugh about this, you will cry and you'll suffer. So I just started to record all these little stories that happened to me, just all these little funny things, because I knew that there was a way to make people laugh about this, like understanding the lifestyle of what we go through, but also the beauty of the culture and the funny. There's funny in everything. So
absolutely,
that's why I wrote it. And I wrote it to the age group that I was in at that time, the early 20s. And I know that there are some older ladies that mature and seasoned as I am now. Look at my décolleté. That do find humor in it. But that's why I wrote it. So I'm curious to know about your book and its tone and why you wrote it.
Well, funnily enough, I have the same attitude about handling things with humor, but it's a different perspective. I don't get bogged down by, although right now what we're going through with this COVID-19 and everything else going on, it's a total bummer, okay? But I tend to rise to the occasion when there are things like, like the war on terror and things like that. That wasn't what got me down. It was the details and the minutia of my daily life. That's what I would find myself drowning in. And it was like all the stuff that isn't important was what bogged me down. Like back when I was going through my stuff, it's probably about the time your book came out, 2009, when for me, the crapola hit the fan. And I was like bogged down taking care of a household and 3 kids and a big sloppy dog. And this is when like social media was really catching on, and teeth whitening and gluten-free and this, hypoallergenic yoga mats. And it was like, holy crap, I couldn't sort out what meant something and what didn't. And I got bogged down in all of it. And I would get so stressed out about minutia. And I had to sit down and like sort it out and figure out what's nonsense. And then my humor was about making fun of the nonsense. That helped me put everything in perspective. and calmed me and gave me, it grounded me. That's what this book is basically about. In a nutshell, you asked for that, give me the meat and potatoes life in 1 minute.
You nailed it.
That's it. It's about sorting through the minutia, laughing at the minutia, making fun of it, and seeing that we all get caught up in it. It's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, today you and I decided to record ourselves with no preparation. I smell like a goat right now because that's what's funny. It doesn't matter. Like, that's the kind of stuff you got to laugh about. I have no makeup on. I haven't showered in like 2 days. So,
You're just like a woman going through a deployment right now.
Exactly. And you have to kind of see what's important and what isn't about family life, about military life, about the deployment, about, your mortgage, whatever. There's so much to laugh about that we get caught up in, right? It's so true. So
I think you're right.
Yeah.
When you talk about social media and about, and people are watching this on social media, so please don't cut it off right now. But I found myself it was so heavy. It was just so heavy on me. Like you're saying, like, buy this lipstick, do this. Your butt should be this big. Oh, no, don't fat shame me. Your butt can be this big. And you're right, like what you're eating and what you're not eating. And it was like, what really matters?
Yes.
And that's what I have found in this COVID-19. What really matters is what's in these walls. And when the war broke out, my husband was on the front lines and my world got so small, and what mattered was him and I. And then now he is a nurse at the VA hospital, and I'm going, okay, Lord, what are you doing? He's back on those front lines again. But once again, it's like what you're saying. I'm like, this doesn't matter, and that doesn't matter. And what matters is this 5-year-old boy in the next room, my husband when he comes home, and me. And I love that.
I'm with you. There's so much that doesn't matter. Even with this whole COVID-19 thing, social media is ratcheting up, like we're all getting caught up in it again, and people wonder, are there things to laugh at? Is it inappropriate to laugh? Is it just inappropriate to laugh about things going on? No, we're human beings. I think you need to kind of sort through that stuff and laugh about things. I do. I know I do.
I do too. I think in what's going on right now too, there's also, we are afraid to laugh at some things. And I think we need to release that and know that it's not everything is, oh, you can't laugh at that. You can't laugh at that. You can't. I had a lady come up to me after a show that I did, and John had traveled with me to this event because he was helping me. I was signing books, and she looked at him and she said, "You let her talk about you like that? You're her husband, and I'm like, he writes half my jokes, like about, like he's okay, like
absolutely
breathe. We have to laugh right now, and we have to take the pressure off each other and just be kind. And I think if everyone would just like,
laugh, but you bring up such a good point, because even in marriage, there'll be something. Well, I get that all the time too. Isn't your husband mad at you? Why is your husband mad at you? My husband, I call him a lovable narcissist because he loves it when I write about him. He suggests things to me. He'll come up and be like, "Hey, honey, if you want to write about me this week, do you remember when I did that last night at the dinner table? If you want to write about that," because I write a weekly column, and I'm like, "Hun, I just wrote about you like 2 weeks ago. Can we have another topic other than you?" He loves it, and people think that he's mad at me for it. Humor is a big part of our marriage too. I was class clown. He's a funny guy. It's part of how we deal with things. And if I get irritated with him about something, like we all do, or he gets irritated with me, sometimes we'll approach the topic with humor first, just to break the ice. And it might be something serious that we really want to sort out, but humor's like it's not just a coping mechanism, but it's kind of like in our delivery. It's kind of our, there's that book about love languages or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe that's our language. I don't know. I don't think that is one of the love languages, is it? I don't know.
I read a devotional the other morning. I'd get up and I I know that I write about some inappropriate things sometimes, but I do have my quiet time with the Lord in the morning. And I read one, it was like, it's a mom devotional, like being a better mom or whatever, like that's even possible. But it was like, what is the purpose of your home? And I was like, ours is just to laugh,
Yeah.
just to, I mean, not that we laugh off everything, but I see what you're saying. And right now, tension is so high. I think that our books can bring that perspective of how to get through very, very stressful situations, breathing, laughing, surrendering it. When you laugh about something, you actually take control back
Yeah.
because it's how you decide to see it. So,
Right.
so tell me about your weekly column and all the things that you do so that people that are watching this video will know how to follow you, because I'm going to.
I write a weekly column for Stars and Stripes. Been doing it for quite a while. It's on like page 41 of the weekend edition. Okay.
Okay.
So, and you can get it online if you're here in the States and you don't get Stars and Stripes. But yeah, the meat and potatoes of life, that's the name of my column. And the book is also the meat and potatoes of life, but it's My True Litcom because it's written like a sitcom. But the book is based on the stories that I told in these columns over the years. All the columns that I've written are basically, it's not like comment. I'm not writing about politics. It's like, it's my life. Like every week I want to write something relatable. I want people to read my column and think, yeah, she just put into words what happened to me last week. And maybe they can't write it in words. And it's reassuring to see that someone can put that into words and like sort out, the observations, feelings, whatever. So that's my goal every week when I write a column, is to write something just about daily life or a comment on daily life or a story about some conversation with my kids. Like one week, for example, I sit down at the kitchen table and our youngest who's 19 now, she just looks over at me and like literally starts laughing. And I'm just sitting there like eating a bowl of cereal and I was like, what? And she's just like, I don't know. You're just hilarious. And I'm like, what? And it made me look back and remember when my mom at some point, like something switched and she just became so funny. Like everything she did was just hilarious. And I wrote about that, like that's something will happen to me.
Didn't that just touch your heart?
I will write it, So, and try to sort through it. Like, what does it mean? Does it mean I'm a bad parent? Does it mean, and sorting through all those things that don't matter, what does matter, laugh at the stuff that doesn't matter, So it's stuff like that every week. And I've been writing it every week for years. There are some weeks where I would rather chew my own arm off than write my weekly column because I just don't have an idea, and it's particularly hard during the pandemic because I combat writer's block by going to coffee shops and people watching, and it helps me think of ideas about people and things. And now I can't go to my coffee shops, but I'm always happy with like sitting down and writing is it's almost like mindfulness. You know what I mean? Like they talk about that now, mindfulness. Oh, it's such a term everybody uses, but when you sit down and you have to write something, you have to think about how you feel about something. And writing is an exercise in mindfulness, and it's grounding. And so I do enjoy it, even though some weeks I do want to chew my own arm off rather than write my column. But I get it out there.
My new doctor was talking to me about being mindful, and she
Yeah.
wanted me to stare at a raisin. I was like, or just throwing this out there, you could up all my Xanax and antidepressants. I'm just throwing that out there.
There's an option. It's an option.
If it was a chocolate covered raisin, I would eat a bag of it.
Yes. Give me a quarter-pound bag, and now we're talking. But one unchocolate covered raisin, no. Mollie, I have watched a couple of your YouTube videos, and hilarious. What was that bit? You did something about driving on base and colors playing or something. I can't remember, but I remember I listened to that when I was in Germany, way before publishing this book, and I laughed out loud. Hilarious.
I pooped my pants. I pooped my pants during colors. I took one for the flag.
That's it. That's it.
Because you gotta stop. You got to stop that car.
Listen, my 54-year-old bladder totally relates to that. I'm telling you right now. No, I love that. And you are so naturally funny, and we need that right now, you know?
Well, I need you right now. So I say we do this again. What do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think
Okay.
we should have people give us some questions, give us some topics to discuss. We reconvene, and maybe we're sweaty next time again. Maybe not. We'll just play
I may wear pants next time. I have a scorching case of sunburn on my outer thigh. So I'm pantsless.
That's the only way to Zoom, honestly.
Thank you.